We already have the means to travel among the stars, but these technologies are locked up in black projects, and it will take an act of God to ever get them out to benefit humanity. Ben Rich, CEO, Lockheed Skunk Works.
There are those who think we're on the edge of disclosure, that any day now they're going to open up the doors and show us the saucers or open the files. I'm not as encouraged. What about you?
Well, I don't think I'm even close to that. I think before we get to that, I think we need to do a little work. I don't think that Congress can make this decision on their own. Pentagon needs to get somebody within the Pentagon that's willing to do something that's a little different.
At the time, due to my extensive executive level intelligence support duties, I was cleared to literally all relevant compartments and in a position of extreme trust, both in my military and civilian capacities. I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. You know, so you have the 67-page amendments, right? It's called the UAP Disclosure Act of 2023. Known as the Schumer Amendment. The main meat of it is about halfway through the act. It talks about a presidential panel or agency, which is 9-person, and a controlled UAP disclosure plan that's 6 years in length.
And finally, I'm pleased the NDAA will include my amendment on increasing transparency on UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena. UAPs generate a lot of curiosity for many Americans. So my amendment will require the National Archive and Records Administration to create a collection of records from across government agencies that can be declassified for the public's use. These records will carry a presumption of immediate disclosure, which means they can only remain classified with good reason. I thank my colleagues who worked with me on this legislation, Senator Rounds, Rubio, Heinrich, Gillibrand, and Young, for their partnership on this amendment. And as many know, my mentor and dear friend who I miss so much, Harry Reid, was passionate about this issue. And so were Senators Stevens and Inouye. So I'm glad we could get this into the manager's amendment.
Yeah, look at this. The federal government shall exercise eminent domain over any and all recovered technologies of unknown origin and biological evidence of non-human intelligence that may be controlled by private persons or entities in the interests of the public good. Wow.
Yeah, dude.
The fact that that is in that paper is crazy.
So it's not passed yet. So that's what. So they're going to debate this when they get back from what they call recess now. Yeah. So it's really good that everybody hears this. This is going to be debated by your representatives. This needs to pass, or we're screwed.
Congress edges closer to finding out if crash retrievals have happened, if reverse engineering special access programs are real. Would you expect major pushback from the Pentagon? I mean, they clearly have kept this a secret a long time. Contractors, they have a lot of influence on Capitol Hill. Are they coming after people like you? Are they trying to thwart the committee from getting into the bottom of this?
I feel 100% they are. I feel that there's people in Congress that have been compromised.
Why'd you elbow me in the back, Kevin?
I know, I felt so bad.
Hey, Kevin, you got any guts?
Jerk.
So what's happening in the House, from what I'm told from people on the Hill that are working the issue right now, you have the chair of the House Intel Committee, Mike Turner, who's blocking this, from Ohio, Dayton, Ohio area, right, Pat? Weird.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wright Pat meaning Wright-Patterson Air Force.
Yeah. And Mike Rogers, which I'm kind of surprised, from Alabama, who's the chair of the House Armed Services Committee. So I have a problem with Mike and Mike right now. So Mike Turner, now remember, I went to his committee in December of last year. He wasn't there, but his staff and lawyers were. And of course, he goes on Fox Business after the hearing, doesn't use my names like this whistleblower. He has no idea what he's talking about.
You know, Maria, I always love it when you have somebody who comes forward and testifies about things that they don't know anything about. I mean, the most, I think, striking aspect of all of the testimony was repeatedly over and over again, the whistleblowers had to say, actually, I don't have any knowledge of this. Somebody else told me that. I mean, really, this would take thousands and thousands of people for such an unbelievable cover-up to be occurring. And for people to speak with such confidence over something that they do not know is, I think, something certainly everybody needs to be concerned about.
I'm like, really? Tell me, Mike, have you ever been an intel officer or served in the military? Oh, wait, you've been the mayor of Dayton, Ohio. You were voted most corrupt person in Congress a couple years ago. And pull up his PAC donors. Who are his biggest donors? Lockheed, Raytheon, Boeing.
On June 5th, 2023, the Debrief news outlet published an article by investigative journalists Leslie Kane and Ralph Blumenthal. In this article, Colonel Carl Nell went on the record. First, he backed up Grusch's credibility and his character directly by stating that Grusch was beyond reproach. But the real bombshells coming from Colonel Nell, quote, his assertion concerning the existence of a terrestrial arms race occurring sub rosa, aka secretly, over the past 80 years, focusing on reverse engineering technologies of unknown origin, is fundamentally correct, as is the indisputable realization that at least some of these technologies are of unknown origin or derived from non-human intelligence.
While it's not related to China, House Republicans are also attempting to kill another common-sense bipartisan measure passed by the Senate, which I was proud to co-sponsor with Senator Rounds as the lead sponsor, to increase transparency around what the government does and does not know about unidentified aerial phenomena. Unidentified aerial phenomena generate intense curiosity for many Americans, and the risk for confusion and misinformation is high if the government isn't willing to be transparent. The measure I championed with Senator Rounds would create a board, just like we did with the JFK assassination records, to work through the declassification of many government records on UAPs. This model's been a terrific success for decades. It should be used again with UAPs, but once again, House Republicans are ready to kill this bipartisan provision.
David, we just heard that two key provisions were killed from this defense bill that basically water down the requirement to make public any information about spacecraft, about alien remains. I take it you're disappointed.
Yes, thank you for having me on today. And, what we're witnessing right now is, quite frankly, the greatest legislative failure in American history.
The United States government has gathered a great deal of information about UAPs over many decades, but has refused to share it with the American people. That is wrong, and additionally, it breeds mistrust. We've also been notified by multiple credible sources that information on UAPs has also been withheld from Congress, which, if true, is a violation of the laws requiring full notification to the legislative branch.
It is unacceptable that any mid-level unelected bureaucrat staffers can tell members of Congress that we are not allowed to access information about UAPs. Unelected bureaucrats do not get to say what we can and cannot see.
It's essential we keep working on our proposal to create an independent presidentially appointed review board that can oversee UAP classified records and create a system for releasing them where appropriate to the public.
There is, we believe, information and data that has been collected by more than just the Department of Defense, but by other agencies of the federal government as well.
It is really an outrage the House didn't work with us on adopting our proposal for a review board, which, of course, by definition here is bipartisan in the Senate. Now it means that declassification of UAP records will be largely up to the same entities that have blocked, obfuscated their disclosure for decades. We will keep working. I want to assure the American people, Senator Rounds and I will keep working to change the status quo.
People need to be voting out these people, and I think News Nation should post a list of House Republicans or Democrats, for that matter, that oppose this legislation and allow their constituencies to decide if these are the kind of leaders that they want that are hindering government transparency, and through a democratic process in the 2024 election, we need to get these people out of office.